asked to put a four-way blinker or something like that because blah, blah, blah. So I posted it on Facebook, so it was, you know, it was on there. Supposedly he lost a leg.
Oh.
And all his ribs were broken. But, you know, they didn't think he was going to make it at first. He was in an induced coma and his heart stopped a couple times. He was only 26.
I was going to say, how old was he?
He was only 26, but I mean, he flew out of, but my daughter was really kind of upset. Because, well, not about, her father's a retired police officer. He came, you know, he's close by, and her phone flew out. She said nobody's going to know. Can you call my brother? So anyway, the short story is she saw the police report. The police said that he had a rolling stop. She said he did not have a rolling stop, and her father said he made a rolling stop. He said it doesn't matter because he got a ticket, and they totaled her car, and she got the money for it. You know, she already got another one, but yeah, she's okay. But it was very traumatic.
Yeah.
I almost went up, but then she said no because, you know, it was scary.
It is scary. I have a baby. Let's see if I can find him. Just out there.
Where is he? Oh.
He's bad. He's real bad, but he's gonna get worse. So.
Beautiful eyes.
Yeah, he does have unusual eyes, but he's been a sweet boy.
Is he a rescue?
He is not. And normally do get rescues, but our dog that we just put down, he was a bloodhound, and he was my husband's absolute heart there. So
That's what this one is, a bloodhound.
yeah,
It's
like,
pretty.
let's see what we can do. So he's not, you know, registered or anything, but that's my army boy.
And how old is this?
He is
Boy?
about 3.5 months.
What?
Oh.
He's so big. Oh my God. Look at those big paws there.
He's going to be a big boy.
Yeah.
And about 3 more inches, with 3 more inches taller, he's going to be a terrible counter.
Counters? Yeah.
Yes, he's going to be terrible. But I know what to expect because Jack was terrible.
When did you get your dog put down?
Oh gosh, when was that? It was
6 weeks ago?
yeah, that sounds about right.
6 weeks.
It was unexpected.
Really?
Yeah. They say he had cancer, but we thought he just dislocated his shoulder. And you're like, wow. So that's my boy. Well, that's Richard's boy.
Beautiful dog. Really, I love the dog.
He's
beautiful
so
eyes.
funny.
And what's his name?
Huckleberry Hound.
Very good.
You'll know Huck, I guess.
Yes, and he started to answer. He's going to be like probably smarter than we are, so a little worried. But
And he'll love to read books.
hopefully he will be someone that I can read with the book we want him to read. But he's like hangs out with them on the big couch. He's been a good boy as far as sleeping. Not great boy sleeping, but we're getting there. So I've been tired.
What color is it?
Big for a lap dog.
Yeah,
They're breeding with that.
What color is it? Is it gold?
I think she called him blonde and Jack was red. He was like solid red. So I think he's gonna have like a little black stripe down his back, but like a little kind of not a complete patch, but you know, a little bit darker than the rest of them. But fun so far. But he needs to learn how to go down the stairs. So, this is getting too heavy to carry. I'm like, okay.
Oh yeah.
But he'll jump off the bed. It's like
Yeah.
you're scared of the steps,
Yeah.
but you'll jump off the bed. As you can tell, the dogs have in the house. They're unruly. Unruly is a good word for them. So, did you all get to read Miss Benson's Beetle? Did you like it? I can't remember who recommended.
Oh, no, it wasn't me.
It's not a book that I would normally
I
give
would
them,
not have known about it.
Yeah.
but those are my favorite ones that y'all choose. You do some great job choosing these books.
Who did choose?
I have to check. Was it?
I don't remember from our little meeting,
No.
or if it was just brought up as one of the reviews that they said it was
That could be.
funny and good.
I was exhausted when I read that book.
I know.
Oh,
I was hard. I don't want to anybody's looking at this, skip ahead of you a little bit because there might be a little spoiler, but I'm heartbroken.
Is there anybody on there or?
No, but I'm recording it, so when I post
Oh,
it,
okay.
give them a warning, fair warning. That was a little spoiler.
Well,
I
you
was
had
not
told me that the end was, because I said, I wasn't sure I liked it, but I'm starting to really like it. You said the end at the end is kind of surprising. And I was like, what happens at the end? She said, I won't tell you. She went, so I was kind of afraid. So I kind of like skipped a paragraph. I mean, a chapter and a chapter
Yeah.
to the end, and it wasn't too bad. So then I went back and, it was different.
A lot of people thought it was funny. I didn't think.
Oh, no, I didn't think it was funny.
I
think the
didn't
book was funny.
too much.
Well, I thought there were certain parts
Yeah.
of the dialogue that I thought
Yeah.
were very funny. And then what I need to ask you at the end is, how do I highlight something on a Kindle? Because I can't tell you where it was. There were 2 or 3 conversations that I just thought that was a pretty clever way.
Brian
that she did
saves
this.
everything, and I
Well,
tell
at
it
the
no.
end, you'll show me. I brought mine to have.
But
you
I tell mine
just-
no, because I don't really save it. But when it says your whatever they call them, footnotes or whatever if you click on
I'll
something,
ask you later.
All right.
You don't have to.
I don't do it, but
I will say I listened to it on Audible because I did the free trial for this book. It was
Yeah.
cheaper than getting the book.
Yeah.
And the way they read it, what they put humor into those
Did they?
those conversations. Yeah. So it was. I thought parts of it were very funny too. I remember, snickering a little bit while I was driving around. listening to
probably
it.
what I can't remember her name, the young chick.
Enid?
Which one?
Enid,
Enid.
yes.
Miss
Enid.
Pretty.
Yeah, Miss
Yeah.
Pretty.
Yeah, it was
Why?
pretty. Probably some of the things she said were funny,
Mhm.
but Miss Benson had a terrible life.
Yeah.
So I didn't think her part was funny.
I think the women brought the best out of each other.
I know.
Because they were both very unique and so opposite, but they did end up bringing the best out of each other.
And that's what everybody said. Well, that's what the reviews said, the big reviews.
I think that's what devastated me. And it's like, no, you can't do that.
Well, I'm still not positive what happened.
Well, that's why, and I didn't read it because I did go back online to see, try to remind myself before I finally figured out how to go back and be able to reread something I had on Kindle. Came and asked the library, you weren't here, and
Oh,
none
no.
of the 3 of them had any idea how to. But
I
Miss
told you.
Wonder, I hit the button and I said, oh, well, you made it work. You are a wonder, Miss Wonder. You made it work. You said, "Oh, wonder." Anyway,
You can always ask me. I'll send you a screenshot.
But all of them had
Yes.
horrible mothers. And I
Yes.
think that's what they found. And I was thinking, a good mother is really important.
Well, they had no nurturing.
No. And they were just kind of searching for something.
I mean, did she really not know her father died?
I don't,
I think she blocked it.
She
That's
blocked
what
it.
I think she blocked
That she
that.
must
Yeah.
have, because she
Yeah.
said he walked out the door and then he was gone.
Yeah.
But
but
then the
then
time,
I thought he died at first because she said
Well,
she
he did.
saw
He
blood.
did.
She
She
heard the
shot
gun
him.
go off.
Yeah.
She saw blood, but obviously he did not die.
he did
No,
die.
he died. He committed suicide.
He committed suicide, but
Yeah,
she saw
that's
him
what I
once,
thought.
but that wasn't him.
this was just all flashback to what he had taught her.
So
At home.
when she
Yeah.
saw him at the park with
That
that little
wasn't
woman
him.
and that little
That
girl, that
wasn't
was not him?
That wasn't him. And another time, she said, when I saw him in the, right after that, she said, when I saw him in the, something about, she knew it wasn't him. She really knew it wasn't him, and she realized that he was gone.
Somehow I missed that. I thought he was alive. She never had that closure. Nobody's talking to her.
Yeah.
No, the aunts and the other,
Yeah, they just avoided it.
Yeah, just avoided the conversation. So horrible.
Well, that story caught me right from the beginning, having been a former teacher and a family consumer science teacher, she was a cookery teacher. And I just could identify with that scene with them passing the notes around and snickering and the, the unpopular child in the class that sort of got called for having the note. But and then I love the description of the teacher's room where she was just dying to get there and get her cup of tea and her biscuit. And of course, the tea was lukewarm, and the biscuits, there was only one crumb left or something. And I just, to me, somehow that just brought me into the story right from the beginning. But I really couldn't figure out this running off with the boots.
The boots is the thing that, it's like she wore those stolen boots forever.
But then she ended up wearing them forever. Yeah,
Forever.
her shoe broke on the way home, and
Well,
so she needed
The boots, there was
Well,
no
it's
seat,
civilized.
the boots were taking up the last seat, and nobody put the boots down, and nobody
When she
spoke
walked
to her
in.
when she walked in.
Yeah, so that was the exclusion.
Right.
Well, so you
Not
went
only
to
did the,
boots.
the class, but also the people didn't like her either. And so she just kind of flipped out, like, well, nobody likes me, so I'm gonna make them notice me.
Yeah.
And these boots cost us, she just flipped out.
In the
That was
school.
enough. That
Yeah,
was
in
enough.
school.
But then she wore them forever.
Eventually
Oh,
that
it
became,
is.
I mean, I couldn't believe all the things you're gonna take to New Caledonia, or wherever the heck she wore those boots or took those boots.
She wasn't really fashionable, because even when she was teaching, she had her toes sticking out of her shoes. So, and she, just the way she mentally grew up, but she knew she needed the boots, because I guess heavy duty combat boots or something.
It was post World War II, like not too long after
Yeah,
that.
I mean, there were
so-
people that had scroungy clothes then. I
Yeah.
think.
And she was the one writing the lists, right? That wasn't Miss Pretty. Or
Yeah, she was the one
character
writing the
was
list.
maker? Her, Miss Benson. Yes, Benson, yeah.
She wrote the list. Yeah, she's pretty smart.
And
She
I
wasn't-
identified with that too, being a
Yeah.
list maker and, 4 times before I pack and washing everything, laying it all out before I pack and make sure that.
Well, obviously she didn't wash everything. She wore these boots forever and the same
I know.
dress for a year.
And that's probably one thing that they didn't like about her either. She wasn't really clean.
Right.
Had a lot of cleanliness, made it want to be associated.
Especially if she sees you cooking.
Yeah.
Did she actually teach cooking or did she just lecture on home economics?
Well, I don't know, but.
She was an economics teacher.
Yeah.
was.
Well, that's right, I flashed right into that. Oh, and what about, I'd read, should probably shut up.
No, no.
Questions are,
Say
but
questions.
of the intriguing characters, of which there were many, even some of the big characters, the one that I tried to keep figuring out why was he part of it was that Monday, or what's his
Yeah.
name? Yes.
And he followed her there.
He just had an obsession with her.
He wanted that job, and she turned it down.
Right, so that was his rejected, another rejection theme. But then he was hell bent that he was gonna be part of it.
Well, it's like another one who reached their last straw. Like she did stealing the boots, he reached his last straw. And
He has a
was,
terrible
you know,
mother too.
Yeah. And did she laugh at him? Because he can't stand it when people laugh at him. That was the other thing. And
Probably
I think he was
Anna
really,
laughed at him.
Pretty,
Yeah, I
but
think-
I don't think Marjorie did.
I think
No.
during the interview,
much.
Well, he came to kill.
Oh, maybe
Miss
during the
Pretty.
interview.
during the
because
interview,
I
something
think that
happened,
was-
yeah, that upset him. And he was mad at her and that's, and lost in his own delusion that he was the one leading the expedition.
Yeah, because he was the man.
Right.
They were all, well, she wasn't a con artist, but the other two were.
Yeah. They're just survivalists.
It is,
Because,
it is
you know,
survival.
Just survival.
It is survival.
What was your reaction to Miss Pretty?
My reaction,
Yeah, anybody's reaction to Miss Pretty.
I thought she probably killed her husband, but apparently she just, I mean, she did kill him, but,
He asked
a
me
mercy.
well, he had already tried to kill himself and he just wasn't quite dead. She only put the thing over his face and
Yeah.
I thought that she was pitiful. You know,
Wounded
Was
bird
it
was what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
she was
you know, like
sympathetic.
A wounded bird,
Yes.
you were saying,
Yeah,
pitiful,
yeah.
that's what I thought. that
She was
just-
sympathetic, that she didn't ever have anything, and all she wanted was a child, and she had the child.
It's making me bad, it's making me sad all over.
I know.
What was interesting though is she always had the baby Jesus. She always had the baby Jesus up on her wall. You know, so maybe that baby Jesus and having a child.
It's something.
Well, they said she was really superstitious though too. And so anything that brought good luck or a good omen, she wanted to hold on to. So I think she would have prayed to Buddha, Jesus,
Probably.
Yeah.
Muhammad, anybody she could have prayed to get a baby.
And who ultimately was the baby's father?
She didn't know.
Well, but wasn't
She
it the
didn't know
guy
for
that
sure.
she left asleep
No.
there?
No, she said she didn't know. It was one of the guys back in England.
Oh, it was one of the guys back in England.
Yeah.
She was still married.
The last guy she.
Oh, so she was still pregnant at Christmas when
Yes.
she
Yeah,
left.
because
Yeah, right.
at first
She
they led
didn't
you to
miscarry.
believe that she
Yeah.
miscarried on the boat, but she
Right.
didn't.
But she thought she did.
Well,
Yeah, but she
yeah,
said she was mistaken. She did. So she.
but she never told Miss Benson that,
Yeah.
oh, no, as a matter of fact, I'm still pregnant.
It's a wonder the baby lived, you know.
It is a wonder. It is a
I
wonder.
agree with that. In the midst of,
And I'm not eating the best of foods. God
Yes,
knows where
spam
they
and
eat.
bananas.
So what were the questions?
Let's see, the first one is, how do the various members of Marjorie's family, her mother, her father, her aunts, Barbara, inform who she is as a person, and what values and beliefs, good and bad, do they pass along to her?
No beliefs.
Well, no value.
No value.
Yeah, I think she and her dad.
Her father valued.
yes, I was gonna say,
But her dad liked her brothers better than I think he liked her, because when he found out her brothers were both killed.
Three of them.
No, there was like 5 of them.
Five of them.
I
Yeah,
thought three, I
four.
thought. Was
And
there
that's
four?
when he-
Four, I guess there were four.
Yeah.
and that's why she was so glad to have established this relationship over the bugs while the boys were away. So she at least had a little connection, but of course, they were notified that they were
But I think that's why her obsession with the bug, because that bug was all
last time.
yeah, the father.
So she could tell it something.
Yeah. And I don't think she was religious or anything, so maybe he would come along and he would come back or something, you know.
I think she thought, well, like you said, she must have blocked it.
The suicide, I think she
Yeah.
kind of blocked it out because she would have been a child or
Yeah.
even
Yeah,
a teenager.
And
Yeah.
nobody said to her, your father's dead.
Right, they just said he went away or he's gone, or they didn't even say very much at all.
He went out and there was a noise and she just was rude to the chair and eventually, I thought it said hours later, they came in for, I don't remember exactly what it was, but she seems to not have ever known.
Well, she must have seen the blood though, because that was the gun and the blood. That's why she hates both of those.
Yeah,
So
remember she didn't
some
like
part
the
of
gun,
her
they
knew.
gun, period.
Some part of her knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was
I didn't make that connection with the blood. That-
Yeah, I didn't.
That's a good observation.
The gun, I think I remember her saying.
Yeah,
No
she didn't like
guns.
the gun. Remember, Amy had a gun,
No.
and it been beneficial, she kept the gun,
Yeah, I know.
but she hated it.
Going back to the boots, what do you think the boots represented to Marjorie?
Taking back something. I don't know.
Revenge against the people that, you know, that didn't speak to her, had nothing to do with it. You know, it's just pretty much, well, you don't like me and speak to me, I'll take whatever you really like in your boots. You know, it's like kids in the sandbox. If I can't play, then I'm taking all my stuff, maybe your stuff home too.
And were they the deputy's boots?
Yes,
Like the in-school
yeah.
authority figure of the
And
principal?
they said that they were some sort of
Rugby boots, or they were some kind of
rugby boots.
Yeah,
Some-
athletic boots or something.
They were athletic boots. She must have looked a sight.
Well, I just think, again, she was demanding control.
Mhm.
And by taking the boots became a symbol of, I'm in control of this situation.
Well, when she realized how badly she was perceived from the children,
And the
I
staff.
think, yeah, and I think maybe she felt entitled then. Oh, well, my shoes have holes in them, so I'm going to take these on the way out. They're just mine. And
Because she's worked at that school for a
Yeah.
while.
you're right. I mean, they really should have treated her better. Not kids, you know.
Yeah, the adults should have treated her better, have more sympathy. lacrosse do?
I don't know. Lacrosse, yeah.
Lacrosse, what does lacrosse? New lacrosse.
It's, I
Well, I
guess
don't think
it's,
there's a sport, I think it was a brand.
was
Yeah,
it?
it's a brand.
Oh, okay, so they weren't,
I don't think they were playing lacrosse.
No.
Oh,
Were they,
okay.
were they the sports teacher's boots though? Were they the
Yeah,
PE
they were
Yes.
the deputies.
Okay.
but they were new.
Yeah, you said they were.
She had just bought them, they were sitting by the
Someone had
door.
left a brand new pair of cross boots on the seat. You know, say she didn't want to remove them. That was the only seat. And even when Margie came in, she didn't want to remove them so she could sit down. You know, she was tired. She, no, don't touch the boots. They have done it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I had some sympathy for her now.
You had to have sympathy for her.
Yeah. That's what I thought she was.
I mean, that her mother sat in the chair for the rest, the next 12 years or whatever, and never really talked to anybody.
And you have to, she said that she looked like her brothers, that she was calm, blue eyes like her brothers, and could wear their clothes. And, but then she let herself go to look like her mother. So there was a little psychological stuff going on.
That's easy.
There was a lot of, probably you were supposed to pick up on a whole lot of psychological.
Well, it's a little more subtle than I realized.
I
I was
know.
reading it a lot more lightheartedly.
Oh, I didn't think it was lighthearted.
No, me neither. I was like, oh,
I was
well, I had to
worn out.
I had to go back a couple times and read the major reviews on Amazon. And people said, you know, that they took care of each other. These women took care of each other and how important it was. I was like, okay, I got to go back and keep reading this. There's important
They
things.
could deliver that baby.
Oh.
And I didn't know.
Oh,
And the cleanliness it had to be, should have been. And it- Cutting the corner.
Going to their relationship, how does Marjorie and Enid's relationship evolve? How did they complement each other's characters, and how did they learn and change from each other?
I think they were kind of polar opposites.
Yeah.
But they developed this really close friendship that they learned to depend on each other, trust in each other. I think Marjorie looked down on Enid.
she did.
Beginning.
Kind of big one.
Yeah.
Well, maybe, you know, a fair amount of everything, but Enid adored her.
Yeah, her sister.
I think. Huh?
Maybe it was her sister that she never had.
Probably.
You know, where she could converse and be.
Or that's what
family.
she wanted to be, that kind of person.
Yeah.
She was so smart. She kept bragging to people about the Beatles and that she worked at the Met or wherever.
But Enid had skills that Marjorie lacked, like getting them out of the ticket and finding the equipment in the school and stealing it and driving.
Oh,
Yeah,
actually,
she got to
she got it,
drive.
but she got it.
Yeah, yeah. But, I mean, it was still like she was quick on her feet to think, I think, and figured out solutions to some of the roadblocks that were in their way.
And like the street smarts, and Marjorie and book smarts.
Right, yeah.
You know, that complementary, you know, merging there.
But she, you know, she sexualized a lot of encounters because that's how she
Oh,
got out of
yes.
places.
The way she dressed. You know.
And the fact that she would disappear with people and come back and not need a visa or whatever.
Right.
But that's a coping mechanism.
Oh,
You know,
yes.
that many female girls do that. It's like, this is how you get by.
And Marjorie couldn't have gotten by that.
Oh,
No.
Yeah, right.
A bull in a china.
And to me, they still both maintain their uniqueness. Do you think that's accurate conclusion, or am I forgetting the end? It seemed to me that they both still remain very much their own person, but they somehow did meet in the middle and grow to respect each other. I think they do respect each other.
Well, I think that they do to love each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Whether they respected each other, I don't know that one has to come with the other, but they definitely had some love.
They were a family.
They were a
And
little
that-
family.
And he didn't, you know, have the dog.
Oh, that dog. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
I know.
That's a good one.
It really was a good book. I don't know if I can go back and read one of the others by the same person. I may do that with the whatever his name is, Major. Yeah, I really like that one.
That's coming up.
Yeah, that.
But tell me, has she written other books?
She
She
has. She
has.
wrote The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold
I
Fry,
read that.
The Love Song of Miss Queenie Hennessy, and Perfect. And The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry was shortlisted for the Commonwealth Book Prize and longlisted for the Man Booker Prize. And it's been translated to 36 languages.
Well, then maybe at some point.
I did read that, and I think I would recommend that.
Was
Is
it
that
good?
the guy who just starts walking one day and just keeps
Well,
walking?
that's what I'm thinking of, but I don't know if it's the right book or not.
Okay.
That's who I'm thinking it is. That's the book I'm thinking of.
One of the questions is, how did you envision Marjorie's helmet? It's like its own presence in most scenes of the book. And what does it represent to you? Something about the helmet.
The pith helmet.
Where did she get that from? Oh, she thought she needed it in the jungle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she bought it with her other supplies and it was,
It's on her list.
it was probably on her list, yeah.
I think that whoever her expert was, I can't remember who it was, that she always quoted,
The
Say-
Reverend, somebody.
you needed a pith helmet.
Maybe it made her feel like she looked official and looked the
I
part of an
think.
explorer.
Despite the lacrosse boots and her second best dress that she wore. That's the only thing she had, because she lost her luggage, right?
I forgot about that.
I had to, actually.
What characters did you find yourself identifying with most? Do you think your personality is more aligned with Marjorie's or Enid's? And who would you want as a friend?
I would want
I
Enid
like
as
the
a friend.
dog.
She's the opposite of what I picture myself as, and I think that it would be interesting to have somebody like that be.
Inject a lot of excitement into your life.
Exactly.
I think she'd be wearying, though.
Enid,
Yeah.
yeah, but then she got get you in trouble.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I might have
Yeah.
found her frustrating.
That's what I mean. I think she would weary me. Like, I'd be,
Like, you can't wear that with your house.
Yes. But again, that's exciting, and that, you know, to
Yes.
someone who's pretty staid and stick in the mud, that would be a bright spot.
She definitely would be a bright, sunshine spot.
I think the one thing that was very interesting about this story was in the end, she ended up sending all these specimens to the museum, but she didn't put her name down.
right. But did she send them? Because I reloaded the book so we could talk about it today.
Did she? Well,
At the end. Did she send them, or did the daughter?
I don't know if it was Gloria or her,
Gloria.
or both.
Right.
But
That's
they
what I was
never took
wondering.
credit for it. I mean, the envelopes come with no name on it.
Did she say at one point it was like the search that was the important part, not the credit? Because even though she found that gold beetle right when they were getting ready to leave, she didn't bring it down with her. She said, I'm going to leave this one for somebody else to find. So the one she named after Enid, the one she found in Borneo, because she turned it in for and gave it the Latin name of Enid Pretty. But so I think that it was more like the search became the important part for her than the glory of having it tied to her as the person who found it. That was the way I read that anyway.
I wondered if maybe she did it that way because
The law was after both of them, and she was supposed to be part of the
thing, or, can't remember what they said. This, I don't know, if it was stealing the equipment or accessory to her friend murdering her husband, I don't know. But anyway, legal consequences, and they were looking for both of them. So maybe she didn't do that because, in fact, I don't think she ever came back. She
But at
stayed
some-
over there.
But at some point, they said that it was in the newspapers that probably the husband of Enid. His brother said, my brother tried to kill himself. So they stopped looking for them because they thought she didn't kill him. So I'm not sure that was the whole thing. But for some reason, probably because the things they stole in New Caledonia, they'd be looking for them. And that's why I brought the book up again to see what happened here. Because Gloria, I feel like Gloria had something to do with sending these things back, because she may have told her what her mother did and how important it was to her mother that these things go back to the museum. I'm wondering.
And Gloria could put her name on them. Gloria wasn't in trouble with the law.
No,
So
I wonder if
sent
Gloria,
them in.
I
She
think that
would've-
Gloria might have, or she might have encouraged her. But I don't know. There's not enough about Gloria.
I think the search evolved, like at the beginning, it was Marjorie, trying to, I guess, do something with her father in mind, or maybe even being self-important. And then it just evolved into, like you say, the search was.
It was
the
a
thing.
quest.
Yeah. And, finally finding this thing that was this big, prize or whatever.
And if it wasn't for Enid, she couldn't have done it.
No.
And so she wanted to give a lot of credit to
That's what I
Yeah.
thought it was. She didn't want her name on it because,
they both.
because Enid was dead, right?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
yes,
so-
yeah, oh,
so-
yes.
Well, Enid, the baby was still a baby when
She grew.
not when Enid was killed.
Not when she was killed, no,
No,
but at
no.
the end, when they were turning three
Right,
years in.
right.
Yeah, she was.
But Enid was dead then.
Right, yeah.
I think that part of the reason she waited so long is that she was protecting the child, but I don't know because they didn't say. But she, at that point, maybe, the first thing was like a quest, like Don Quixote,
Right.
And then the quest became for Gloria to grow up. And she promised her, as she died, that she would make sure that she was okay, that Gloria was okay. I think. That was my perception of it, but maybe that's not exactly how it ended, because I did skip around at the end, because you scared me.
What did you think was going to be in Enid's red police?
Oh,
Not pillows, that's for sure. I did not expect that.
I was thinking probably to be terrible books, but I was thinking like body parts or something.
Yeah, I thought something awful.
Something awful,
It was something awful. And here she was really good to the husband. She went out with people, but he had boyfriends.
oh,
Well, that's right.
about that. But
Yeah.
She was really good to him. She took care of him.
She was a colorful character, but I think she was sincere. Once she was your friend, she was your friend, no matter what.
She was very good-hearted.
Can you imagine, even now in this day and time, especially in the 40s, just dropping it your entire life, jumping on a ship and going to a place that not many people were familiar with, completely different. What a challenge it would be. I don't know that I would ever have the courage to do that.
Well, I think that she had to replace something in her life that she visualized this. She thought it was going to happen. And she was just going to do it. And she thought she could do it. And then when it was all done and over with, I guess she thought she'd be wealthy or important.
I do think she had saved,
Mhm.
from her
Frugal.
teaching. Yeah, because I was thinking, oh my gosh.
I think still that initially she was trying to gain the favor of her father, wherever
Yes.
her father
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, she wanted
She
to find this for her dad.
Wanted you to be proud of her from wherever.
Because he was always hunting for insects, and she didn't really take that much interest in it until the last of this book. Well, then there was the man at the museum.
Yeah, I was going to ask what you thought about that
Yeah, she was infatuated
Oh,
with
yeah.
him, had a crush on him or something. I
And he was
don't know.
apparently a little bit infatuated with her. He
But he
wrote
was
her.
married.
He
He was
wrote
married.
her.
Yeah. But when she had the nerve to talk to him about it, it was like.
But she did a lot of work. You know, I think that's where she really learned a lot of how to capitalize stuff. You know, so he taught her a lot, but yeah, what costs.
And probably what she thought is another rejection.
Another rejection. Yeah.
Well, you would, I guess you would like draw into yourself everywhere you went. Things died or attacked you. And probably in that way, she and Enid were alike. But they reacted differently, I guess. As I was reading it, I really didn't think about all his depth, but there is a lot of depth to it.
That's what's great about our group. Everybody comes away with a different look on whatever it is we're reading. So it's always interesting to see. But everybody else got out of it because I was like, I did not get that at all. How did I miss that?
Well, do you think, and I'm trying to follow through on that thought. So was Enid always looking outward for affirmation where Marjorie was always looking inward for affirmation? Is that why Enid was so outgoing and putting herself in these situations?
Well, I
going
think that
so
for both-
outward to get the baby and
I guess, I mean, both of them was how they cope with life. You know,
again, they seem to be.
and neither one was appropriate. But together, I guess, you know, if they were a little bit symbiotic, I mean, you know, they each got to be a little bit of the other, maybe. Maybe,
Well, that's how why families are so important.
right.
Mom, dad, mothers, you know, teaching the children. This is the result of no families. You kind of just been out there and let, you know, try to survive, fend for yourself. Yeah, fend for yourself. At least Marjorie had an education. She could, you know, Enid, I don't think did.
I don't think so. They didn't say too much about
How bad her spelling was and her letters.
Yeah.
Terrible spelling.
Did they say how, I mean,
I don't think she attended school.
I don't know. She
Graduated.
I don't remember too much about her earlier life. Obviously, it was,
She was raised by some aunts as well, I think. And then she said that the man who came around her doll was nice to her. So
that was what she learned.
that was what she learned.
And that's why she became promiscuous.
And manipulative. I mean, she could be promiscuous and not get anything out of it, but she did get things out of it. She was manipulative, and she.
But why did she want the baby so much?
Because
she
she-
loved,
Something
yeah.
in her home.
Or she wanted.
family.
She wanted. Yeah, she wanted to take care of this child like she probably knew she should have.
It was her vocation.
It was her vocation.
It's, you know, I kept thinking, why not just get a pet, you know, a dog, or she had a dog, get a pet instead of a child, you know. And then she had no clue on how to raise a child
No,
at all,
or childbirth.
or childbirth or anything. So that's, to have that responsibility.
Well, she didn't have it. So,
She seemed to be a little more informed about childbirth than Marjorie was.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, she knew to like tie the cord off and, you know, clean the baby up and, you know, stuff like that. So.
she probably was observant about how people got by in life. She probably learned it. Not in school, but she definitely learned.
Oh, yeah, I think she was true.
A little bit of street smart isn't bad. A lot of street smart can be.
The next week, if you can join us, we'll be talking, hopefully, The author will be joining us by after Alice Bell. I have a copy of that book if you need it.
I'll bring my copy in next week. Is
Okay.
that okay?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So if you need one, let me know. If you know somebody who wants one, let me know.
Is it 2 o'clock again?
2 o'clock, yes.
So next Wednesday, 2 o'clock.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'll be in New Jersey, but I'll try to Zoom.
Okay,
But I did make you a little blurb of, in case I'm not.
okay,
You want me to
awesome.
send it to you? in a chat?
Perfect, yeah.
It's just,
Sure.
If you send it to me, I'll read it.
okay.
So the author seems really nice, so I'm looking forward to.
Well, that's nice. And I tried to be, you know, I said, it wasn't really my kind of thing. And I think it was probably this, because all the reviews were good. So I would think that there's a certain genre of what it was about.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then I think our July book, if I remember correctly, is Molokai by
Yes.
Alan Brenner. So I haven't read that one yet, but I'm looking forward to
Yeah,
it.
do you have any copies of that? I need a copy of that.
I'm not sure if they're checked in, but I do believe we have some.
there's a Kindle, because I read a Kindle. If you want it on the Kindle.
Yeah, but I don't want to pay for it.
You can just get it on, the library has it.
Okay,
Oh.
that's what I'm asking.
Oh,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Overdrive, yeah.
Oh,
I see
Overdrive.
Yeah,
Oh, Overdrive. thought you
because I sent it back.
Oh,
And, you know, I read it and
Rebecca, if you want that book, I can do my copy back.
it comes from
No, no,
somewhere
no,
else.
you said after
Because at
Alice.
first I was like,
Oh, no, I can bring
I was
it back.
number 2 on 0 copies, and then all of a sudden it was, you can have it now.
I've been
Oh, I
saying
think I
I'll-
purchased the
I-
copy.
Oh, is that what
I
happened?
think I probably did. I tried to
That's
um,
another.
purchase all the ones on our book.
Yeah, well, I'll be here for that one, but
Okay.
I
So I'm
liked
looking
it.
forward to it.
Another
I
one.
definitely loved
Okay. Has anybody read After Alice
Yes.
Bell yet?
I have.
Yes.
That's one about the
Okay.
leprechaun.
It is.
Really interesting.
Is it worth reading?
Yes.
I read
Yeah.
Andrew Pettigrew years
Yeah.
ago too. I have a hard time reading books. I know, there's so many out there.
That's a
Yeah.
psychological
I
What major
totally
Pettigrew?
After Alice Bell.
But you
Yeah,
have one
that's
more
what I,
copy?
that was
do.
the only
Do you need one?
thing.
Is it on my desk?
Did you read it?
Rebecca does, but
Yes.
Diane said she'd make a trip. and bring
I
it
have
back.
one on my desk that I brought in.
Okay.
So let me